Here's a nice story for a Friday night. A Nashville 911 dispatcher got her lifesaver pin today.
She helped save a woman's life by giving her son CPR instructions over the phone. Here's News 2 photojournalist Drew Brumfield.
I can't breathe.
It first came in as a breathing difficulty, but then as the call progressed, we had determined that she wasn't breathing at all and she was actually turning blue.
All right, I'm going to count with you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
Ms. Wadley and Mr. Caldwell continued delivering compressions for 5 minutes until paramedics arrived on scene.
Hey, Mom, look at me. You're going to be okay.
We are incredibly proud of Ms. Wadley's attention to this emergency and commitment to helping, and very proud of Mr. Caldwell's ready attitude and steady hands working with Ms. Wadley to save his mother's life.
It was important to acknowledge her part in my life being saved.
Just like super grateful, first of all. It's not an experience I really know how to explain, but you can kind of just hang your hat on, I've got my mom.
Thank you, Lauren.
You're welcome.
Today, a long line of people welcomed Daniel Wadham's remains back home to Middle Tennessee. Here's News 2 photojournalist Drew Brumfield.
You know, speaking of him in past tense, that's a hard thing to do. As a person, as a friend, as a colleague, he was just a man of service. He was a great man. He always wanted to put everyone else first.
The primary mission of the CVMA is to support veterans foundations, and their families. And with this tragic loss of our brother in arms, had to make it a point that we did show up and provide him an escort that he deserves.
It's massive to the people that knew him better than I did. It's crazy to see how much one person can impact. These are people from all walks of life that had nothing but excellent things to say about this guy.
He was a great person. Again, he loved his wife, Rosetta. He loved his kids. He loved his friends. He loved his family. He loved his city. He's just a great person. And I'm honored and blessed to have known him.
So step into this red phone booth that's just off Broadway and you step right back in time. A hidden cocktail bar awaits you. But to get there, you'll need to know the code. Blake Eason has a look inside in this backstory.
Just a few blocks from Broadway, you might not think to take a call inside this red phone booth all the way from London, England. But if you do, a Prohibition experience awaits on the other side.
Cheers.
To get inside the cocktail bar, you must dial a secret number on the antique rotary phone, and if successful, the back of the booth opens to a world 100 years ago. But where did this come from? What's the backstory behind what appears to be a random red phone booth in downtown Nashville? Turns out it was a dream inspired by founder and CEO Stephen DeHaan's grandfather, who was a pharmacist during Prohibition.
With that being said, our drinks are there for prescriptions. The back bar is the pharmacy. Our cigars are inhalants, and it goes without saying that a shot, of course, is going to be a vaccine. So that's what we do here. And it really just ties all back to my grandfather.
A dream that was planted in his youth when he attempted to make a drink for his grandfather and failed.
And he takes a sip of this, and for effect, he spits it out on his kitchen floor.
After the initial embarrassment, his grandfather passed down a cocktail book from the 1930s titled Here's How.
This is where a lot of our cocktails are coming from.
And he still holds on to it today for all drink making. Han says the bar prides itself on the classics, like their award-winning Old Fashioned. The ice is hand-chipped, all juices are squeezed fresh, and customer service is crucial, just like the old days. From the Italian leather couches to the vintage cigar lockers, Hans notes there's a mystery and discovery behind every corner in the bar. Even the artwork, including this piece that emulates what he believes a date between his grandparents might have looked like at the red phone booth.
Did your grandfather ever know that he inspired this dream?
No, I'm sure he knows. I'm sure he knows. I'm sure he's up there smiling. I do believe that 1,000%, but he never did get to see this opened up.
One that's now open 7 days a week for tourists, locals, and anyone of age looking to escape reality and turn back 100 years. In Nashville, Blake Eason, News 2.
State Capitol reporter Chris O'Brien talked to both the prime sponsor of this law and doctors who spoke out with those concerns. He joins us live from downtown Nashville. Chris.
Haley, Bob, good evening. Doctors made it very clear today. They quite simply don't want to be charged with a felony under any circumstances if they perform an abortion. But as of today, that possibility exists.
Kendall Ashman is on her way to Lawrenceburg, where we have heard reports of damage following a confirmed tornado on the ground. Kendall, hopefully you are safe. And what are you seeing now?
Yeah, Alex, as you just mentioned, we are on our way to Lawrenceburg. Currently, we just received information 2 roofs were torn off homes there, so we are on our way to access some of that damage. But right now we are on Interstate 840 heading west. We just passed exit 42 Shelbyville. The rain, it is pretty heavy.
Yeah, Kenley, well, we've got a packed house here this evening. People are shoulder to shoulder, and in fact, we're told this may be one of the biggest crowds they've seen so far just because of how nice the weather has been. And if you are showing up tonight, let me promise you, this will not be a lineup that will disappoint. Music City is back in full swing for 2023.
And this is my very first time ever asking for help.
This mother of 2 says she is desperate to find a safe, warm home for her 2 babies.
It's hard being a single parent. I'm the first one to wake up, last one to go to sleep, just to make sure that they're okay.
We agree to conceal her identity and give her an alias, Veronica.
And it was a moment's notice, too. There wasn't no, by the time I got the message, turned the radio on, it was done here.
She says by the grace of God, her business of 13 years only had damage at the front of the building.
Well, locking your car may be as simple as pushing a button, but is a step that not everyone is taking.
Well, the first Saturday in September is World Vulture Day. We're here at the Nashville Zoo to meet Fester.
Hi, Fester. Turkey vultures have a wingspan of about 4.5 feet. Obviously, every bird's a little different, but he's a big bird. And, you know, he weighs about 5 pounds, which is a good size for a turkey vulture.
Peter, that you're looking at a turkey vulture up in the air, if you see that.
Hi, thank you.
Officer Sean Finn got a private jet ride home last April after a lengthy battle with COVID. He admits that today he wasn't sure would come.
I just get lost for words of how to explain it because I'm just so thankful to be here and so thankful for a second chance at life.
Well, right behind me is the home where Lisa and Joe Trotter lived for 15 years. They tell me on Valentine's Day morning they got a call from neighbors reporting smoke on their property. But by the time they got here, this is what they found. Right here was what used to be their kitchen, and in the middle you can see there's just a single floorboard left. Now, out of all of this, they are telling me about one really miraculous thing. I want to bring you over here. This is the urn that housed their daughter's ashes who passed several years ago. Believe it or not, they tell me that inside her ashes were unharmed.
It just amazes me that those fell the way they did.